The second move of all high-performance organizations is they act as one. And this is really about alignment. And it's not a surprise, but I was surprised at the level of alignment that we saw as we studied world-class organizations. It's hard to overstate the impact and the energy that these organizations were able to derive because men and women were in agreement. They were in agreement on the things that were most important. And that alignment gave them passion, it gave them energy, it gave them synergy, and it gave them tremendous competitive advantage over organizations where people, quite frankly, are not aligned on much of anything. So, how do you achieve this level of alignment? Well, there are a few best practices that will be helpful for you. The first is to create clarity. Again, this may be a blinding flash of the obvious, but it's hard to align if there's no clarity. One of my mentors said that if there's mist in the pulpit, there's fog in the pew, right? Messages don't generally get clearer. So as a leader, and if you've employed a leadership team, you need to be as clear as possible so that as those messages cascade, you can maintain clarity throughout your organization. Now, you may be wondering, well, create clarity on what? Well, you're the leader, you get to decide. But generally, there's clarity around things such as vision, mission, purpose, values, strategies, goals, or some combination. It's, in essence, you're trying to get your people to understand what are the things that are most important. So let me give you an activity. Actually, I want to tell you a story and give you an activity. We did this with a group of leaders several years ago. We asked them to text members of their team and ask them a simple question. What's our number one goal for the organization this year? And you can pick your question. It may revolve around any of those things I mentioned earlier. And so a leader somewhat sheepishly shared the results from her 3 leaders, and she said, hey, they all actually said the same thing, and they used the exact same language. So you may be thinking, congratulations. And then she said, they're all absolutely aligned on the wrong thing. What they said is not my number one goal. So who owns that? Like, whose issue is that? That is clearly a leadership issue. So, an action for you to consider, decide what you think is most important, and if you want to test the level of clarity in your organization, just text a few of your team members and ask them to respond to your question. I think if you can create clarity, you will be amazed at what it'll do for your organization.